didn't think love could leave without making a mess. You folded your clothes carefully like nothing was wrong, like we were just rearranging instead of coming undone. You said this isn't anger, you said this isn't blame, and somehow that calm in your voice hurt worse than saying my name. We built a life out of habits, out of things that felt safe. I thought safety meant forever, didn't know safety could fade. You used to wait up for me no matter how late I came home. Then you started sleeping early like you were already alone. I asked if something was wrong, you said I'm just tired, that's all. I didn't know tired could mean you were done giving your all. I thought love survived routine, that it didn't need attention. Didn't know neglect could grow inside good intentions. I thought staying was enough. But love doesn't leave screaming, it doesn't always break things down. Sometimes it just grows quiet till it's barely making a sound. I didn't hear you letting go because you never made a scene. Love doesn't leave dramatically, sometimes it leaves unseen. I replay the small moments where effort would have changed the end. The times you needed reassurance, and I gave you yeah then. You weren't asking for miracles, you weren't asking for proof. You were asking for presence, and I kept giving excuses. Now the house feels bigger, like it's missing a shape. Every room reminds me of choices I didn't make. I didn't lose you suddenly, I lost you being the same. And that's the kind of heartbreak that doesn't have someone to blame. If love ever finds me again, I won't treat it like it's guaranteed. I'll protect it like it's fragile, like it could leave quietly. I won't wait for a warning, I won't assume it'll stay. Because losing you taught me love listens to what you do every day. But love doesn't leave screaming, it doesn't always fall apart. Sometimes it just gets tired of living inside your heart. I didn't hear you letting go because you never made a scene. Love doesn't leave dramatically, sometimes it leaves intensely. But love doesn't leave screaming, it doesn't always fall apart. Sometimes it just gets tired of living inside your heart. I didn't hear you letting go because you never made a scene. Love doesn't leave dramatically, sometimes it leaves unseen. And unseen. I thought growing up meant growing stronger. Turns out it meant understanding what I lost. My dad used to wake up early, same time every day. My dad used to wake up early, same time every day. Coffee, black boots by the door, never much to say. He showed love by staying steady, by doing what needed done. I didn't understand it then, I was too busy being young. He said, son, don't chase every road. I laughed like I had time. Funny how advice waits patiently till it finally feels like mine. I chased nights that felt important, I chased dreams that felt loud. Thought success would feel like peace if I just made him proud. But peace was sitting at the table, in the calls I didn't make, in the love I took for granted, in the vows I didn't take. Time doesn't slow down, it explains. The older I get, the more I see what really holds a man. It's not the miles you run away, it's where you choose to stand. It's the people who stay beside you when you've got nothing left to prove. Yeah, the older I get, the more I understand the truth. I've lost friends to distance, lost love to my pride, lost moments I can't buy back, no matter how hard I try. I used to think forgiveness was letting someone win. Now I know forgiveness is how you let yourself begin. I talk to my reflection more than I used to before, asking questions I avoided back when life felt sure. I don't regret the dreams I chased, I regret the ones I missed, because I was too distracted to notice what I already had. If I could talk to my younger self, I wouldn't scare him straight. I'd just say, slow down, listen more, and don't love halfway, because life doesn't punish ignorance, it just charges interest, and the bill comes due quietly with memories you can't replace. The older I get, the more I see what really makes a man. It's not what you escape from, it's where you choose to stand. I don't need to relive my past, I just need to learn from truth. Yeah, the older I get, the more I finally understand you. You said I'm fine, but I knew better. You stopped asking about my day, stopped waiting up at night. I told myself you were just tired, that everything was alright. You smiled like nothing was wrong, like you didn't want the fight. I didn't know silence was you saying goodbye in real time. You Used to reach for my hand, now it stayed at your side. I thought spacemen we were healthy, didn't know spacemen goodbye. I thought love meant stability, a house, a plan, a name. Didn't know love also meant noticing when something changed. You said I feel invisible, I said you're overthinking. I didn't know minimizing pain was how love starts sinking. I thought calm meant safe. You didn't leave in anger, you didn't slam the door. You just slowly stopped believing I'd hear you anymore. And that hurts worse than shouting, worse than walking away, because I can't find the moment where we started to decay. I replay every conversation, looking for the sign that told me you were halfway gone while I was killing time. Some endings don't announce themselves, they fade into routine. And by the time you feel the distance, you finally see what it means. Now I sit with the quiet, trying to learn the cost of thinking love was automatic. Of everything I lost, I didn't cheat, I didn't lie, I just failed to stay aware. And now I know how love can die when someone isn't there. If love ever feels familiar again, I won't wait for it to shout. I'll listen when the tone changes, before the light goes out. Because losing you taught me what silence really means. It's not peace, it's resignation when love stops being seen. You didn't leave in anger, you didn't break us in two. You just slowly stopped believing I'd ever hear you. And I'll carry that lesson forward every time I choose delay, because losing someone quietly still hurts the same. Still hurts the same. Still hurts the same. We used to talk about forever, like it was something guaranteed. We sat on that old back porch, watching the sun give up the day. You said, promise me we won't change. I smiled like that was something I could say. I thought love meant staying put, that ever would take care of itself. Didn't know loving someone properly means paying attention to more than yourself. You started asking quieter questions, like you didn't want to fight. I thought that meant we were solid, didn't know it meant goodbye in disguise. I remember the night you cried, facing the sink, back turned to me. I asked what was wrong, out of habit. You said nothing, and I let it be. That moment replays in slow motion, because now I finally see you weren't asking for solutions. You were asking me to stay assuming tomorrow while you were losing belief. Some hearts don't shout loudly, they just quietly release. And I didn't hear you letting go until you were already free. You stopped dreaming out loud, stopped asking me to choose. I thought independence was healthy, didn't know it was losing you. You stayed longer than you should've, hoping I'd finally change. I didn't lose you suddenly, I lost you staying the same. Now the house feels like an echo of words we never said. I walk past pictures on the wall of us before the end. I don't blame you for leaving, I blame who I became. Someone who thought love was stable without tending to the flame. If love ever asks something of me again, I won't answer halfway. I won't hide behind comfort or let silence have its way, because losing you taught me that love listens to time, and time notices everything, even when you're blind. We didn't break from one big moment, we wore down piece by piece. I kept assuming tomorrow while you were losing belief. Love doesn't always leave loudly, sometimes it leaves in peace. And I didn't hear you letting go until you were already free. Already free. There's a stretch of highway I don't take anymore. We used to drive it every weekend, windows down, radio low, talking about things that felt important back when time moved slow. You said you liked the quiet, said it made you feel safe. I said I needed movement, didn't know movement could make you fade. I thought ambition made me brave, thought love would understand. Didn't know love needs choosing more than a future plan. You stayed behind emotionally while I kept chasing ahead. I said just a little longer, you heard not yet instead. By the time I turned around, you'd already let go. Some people don't leave in anger, they leave when hope runs low. I thought we had time. I chased the road, not the reason. I chased tomorrow, not now. I thought love would wait forever, didn't know it wouldn't somehow. Now every mile feels heavier, like memory weighs a ton. I don't take that road anymore, because it knows what I've done. I remember the look you gave me the last time we drove that way. Not angry, not broken, just tired in a quiet way. I should have pulled over, I should have asked you to stay. Instead I kept driving, like love could be delayed. Now I drive alone at night with few words in my head. You don't lose someone, suddenly you lose them by what you don't say. I didn't know how true that was till I was on my own, learning too late what that road was taking me from. If love ever feels familiar again, I'll stop when it asks me to. I won't confuse momentum with growth or comfort with truth, because losing you taught me that speed doesn't mean progress. Sometimes slowing down is the bravest choice you make. I chase the road, not the reason. I chase tomorrow, not now. Some loves don't survive delay, some hearts don't wait around. I don't take that road anymore because it leads to regret. And I finally understand what love was asking then. Suddenly, you faded. You stopped making plans for us, started planning just yourself. I thought independence was healthy, didn't know it meant farewell. You smiled through disappointment like it wasn't worth the fight. I mistook your patience for you being alright. You didn't ask for much, you asked for consistency. I gave you good intentions instead of reliability. I didn't notice the exit signs till I was already alone. I thought love would announce itself before it was gone. But love doesn't always warn you, it doesn't always shout. Sometimes it leaves quietly when you're not paying attention enough. I thought we had more time. You didn't leave suddenly, you faded out of reach. You stopped believing I'd change, stopped hoping I would see. And that hurts worse than anger, worse than walking away. Because I can't point to the moment when we started to fade. I replay the nights you waited while I chose everything else. I thought love was automatic, didn't know it needed help. You didn't stop loving me, you stopped hurting yourself. And now I live with that truth every night by myself. I wish I'd noticed sooner, I wish I'd asked more questions. I wish I treated love like something worth protecting. I didn't lose you in a fight, I lost you by delay. And that's a harder thing to face at the end of every day. If love ever feels familiar again, I won't assume it'll stay. I'll act while it's asking, not after it fades away. Because losing you taught me what absence really means. It's not being alone suddenly, it's being alone gradually. didn't leave suddenly, you faded out of reach. Some loves don't end loudly, they quietly decrease. I didn't hear you leaving, so there was nothing to say. You didn't leave suddenly, we faded. We faded. I used to think silence meant peace. Now I know better. We stopped arguing months before it ended. I thought that meant we were strong, didn't know unresolved things still sing their own song. You stopped telling me what hurt, stopped asking me to try. I thought calm meant comfort, didn't know calm meant goodbye. You carried disappointment quietly, so I wouldn't feel bad. I didn't realize protecting me was hurting what we had. You said, I don't wanna fight. I said, neither do I. Didn't know avoiding truth was just another kind of lie. You asked me to notice changes, I asked you to be patient. I thought patience was love, didn't know patience without effort is just slow abandonment. I mistook silence for safety, we mistook silence for peace. We called distance space, we stopped asking hard questions and accepted decay. Love doesn't always scream, sometimes it slowly leaves. And I didn't hear it breaking because I thought quiet meant peace. I replay all the evenings where we sat side by side, saying nothing important, letting connection die. I thought staying present physically was all I needed to do. Didn't know love needs attention, not just proximity to you. Now the quiet feels heavier than any fight we had. I trade every calm night for one more honest chance. I didn't know silence could hurt more than words ever could. Now I understand too late what quiet really stood for. If love ever grows quiet again, I won't assume it's okay. I'll ask the uncomfortable questions before it slips away. Because losing you taught me what silence can't conceal. It can hide resignation, it can make love disappear. We mistook silence for peace, we called distance space. Some loves don't explode, they slowly erase. I didn't hear it breaking till there was nothing to keep. I mistook silence for peace. For peace. thought love was patient. I didn't know patience could run out. You waded through my phases, through my moods, through my pride. You learned how to love quietly, while I learned how to hide. You kept believing in versions of me I hadn't become yet. I kept promising soon, like love was something you could postpone. I told myself you understood, that you knew my heart. I didn't know understanding still needs effort to start. You stopped correcting me gently, stopped asking me to see. I thought we'd reached a balance, didn't know you were releasing me. You said I don't feel chosen. I said, you know that's not true. I didn't realize saying it was easier than proving it to you. I thought time was on our side. But love doesn't wait forever. It doesn't pause its needs. It listens to what you show it, not what you say you mean. I thought patience meant security, didn't know it could expire. Love doesn't wait forever. It leaves when it's tired. You stayed long after hope got thin, long after doubt appeared. You kept choosing us alone while I disappeared. I didn't know how loud it was when effort isn't there. I didn't know neglect could sound like silence everywhere. Now I hear your absence clearly in the quiet of my days. I thought love would forgive delay, but delay was what made you walk away. I didn't lose you in anger, I lost you in time. And that's a kind of loss that doesn't heal fast in the mind. If love ever feels familiar again, I won't lean on intention. I'll act while it's asking, not after resignation. Because losing you taught me what patience really costs. It costs the people who wait till there's nothing left to exhaust. Love doesn't wait forever. It doesn't promise to stay. It listens to your choices more than words you say. I thought patience meant safety, but now I know it's desire. Love doesn't wait forever. It leaves when it's tired. Love doesn't wait forever. It doesn't promise to stay. It listens to your choices more than words you say. I thought patience meant safety, but now I know it's desire. Love doesn't wait forever. It leaves when it's tired. When it's tired. You used to be my first call, no matter the hour. Every good thing still reaches for you. Before I remember it can't, I still turn toward the phone. Like habit could rewrite the past. You knew my moods before I spoke. You knew when silence meant fear. Now silence is all that answers when I need someone here. I didn't cheat, I didn't lie, I just stopped leaning in. Didn't know love needs momentum, didn't know stillness could end it. You asked me to be present, not perfect, not profound. I thought being around was enough, didn't know love needs sound. Not noise, not drama, but listening when it's hard. I was physically beside you, but emotionally far. I thought we were solid. You stopped being my first call when I stopped choosing you first. I thought love would bend around me, but neglect made it worse. Now the phone stays quiet at night, like it knows what we lost. I didn't lose you in a moment, I lost you at a cost. I replay the nights you waited while I chose everything else. I thought consistency was boring, didn't know it was care. You didn't ask for the world, you asked for my attention, and I treated love like background noise instead of intention. Now I understand what presence means. It's not just staying close, it's showing up emotionally when someone needs you most. I didn't know how loud absence was till you weren't on the line. Now I carry that lesson in whatever comes next in time. If love ever circles back, I won't wait to respond. I'll answer when it reaches for me, not after it's gone. Because losing you taught me what love really calls. It calls for consistency, not comfort at all. You stopped being my first call when I stopped choosing you first. Some lessons don't come gently, they come after the hurt. I don't blame you for leaving, I blame who I became then. Someone who thought love was automatic until it reached the end. The end.
I always thought love would announce itself. I didn't know it could disappear so quietly. You stopped asking me to come home early, stopped waiting up past midnight. I thought you were just growing, didn't know you were letting go inside. You folded your expectations neatly like clothes you no longer wore. I kept living like everything was fine while you were closing the door. I thought love would survive comfort, that routine meant we were strong. Didn't know comfort without care is where love goes wrong. You said I feel alone sometimes, I said that's just stress. I didn't hear the warning, I heard what was easiest. You weren't asking for solutions, you asking for control. You were asking for presents, for something honest and whole. I thought understanding was enough. Love doesn't always leave loudly. It doesn't always explain. Sometimes it just gives up on being heard again. I didn't hear you slipping away, because nothing ever screamed. Love doesn't always leave dramatically. Sometimes it leaves unseen. I replay the nights we sat together, saying nothing that mattered. I thought peace meant we were okay. Didn't know peace could shatter. You learned to live without asking. I learned to live unaware. And that's how love disappears, when someone isn't there. Now the silence feels intentional, like it has something to say. It reminds me how often I chose comfort over change. I didn't lose you in a fight, I lost you in routine. And that's the kind of ending that never makes a scene. If love ever stands in front of me again, I won't wait for it to beg. I'll notice when the tone shifts, before hope feels dead. Because losing you taught me that love listens to behavior, not promises or plans, or what I do later. Love doesn't always leave loudly. It doesn't break things down. Sometimes it just grows tired of never being found. I didn't hear you slipping away, because nothing ever screamed. Love doesn't always leave dramatically. Sometimes it leaves unseen. Sometimes it leaves unseen. Love doesn't always leave loudly. It doesn't break things down. Sometimes it just grows tired of never being found. And I didn't hear you slipping away, because nothing ever screamed. Love doesn't always leave dramatically. Sometimes it leaves unseen.
Used to think forever was a promise you made once. We talked about growing old like it was guaranteed, rocking chairs and quiet nights like love didn't need tending. I thought staying meant commitment, I thought comfort meant secure. Didn't know love needs choosing long after it feels sure. You asked me to listen deeper, I listened just enough. I thought enough would carry us, didn't know it wouldn't. You stayed longer than you should have, hoping I'd finally see that love isn't built on assumption, it's built on consistency. You stopped asking me to change, stopped asking me to fight. I thought calm meant we were good, didn't know calm meant goodbye. I thought love knew my intentions. Forever isn't promised, it's practiced
replay the moments I minimize, the times I chose to delay. I thought patience was kindness, didn't know it pushed you away. You weren't asking for perfection, you were asking for my best. And I gave you convenience instead of effort and depth. Now I understand what commitment means. It's not words you say once, it's who you become daily when comfort tempts you to run. I didn't lose you suddenly, I lost you gradually. And that's a lesson I carry into who I'll be. If love ever feels familiar again, I won't rely on the past. I'll treat it like something living that can fade if ignored too fast. Because losing you taught me that forever isn't claimed, it's protected quietly in how you behave. Forever isn't promised, it's practiced every day. It grows in consistency, or slowly fades away. I thought love would carry itself, but love listens to time. Forever isn't promised, it's something you define. You define. You define.
Didn't know love could feel this quiet at the end. You packed your things carefully, like you didn't want to hurt me. You said this isn't your fault, and somehow that broke me. Because fault means something to fix, something to repair. Call me when you were finished, and I wasn't there. I asked if we could talk later, you said we already did. And suddenly I realized how much I'd missed. You weren't angry, you weren't cold, you were clear, and clarity is harder to argue with than fear. You said I stayed as long as I could, and I finally believed you. Because love doesn't leave early, it leaves when it's through. I didn't know endings could feel settled. You didn't leave in anger, you didn't storm away. You left with understanding, and that's harder to face. Because there's nothing left to fix, nothing left to defend. You didn't break my heart loudly, you calmly reached the end. I replay that final conversation, looking for another door. But some endings don't offer options, they've already closed before. You didn't stop loving me, you stopped hurting yourself. And now I understand what that really meant. I wish there was something to blame, a moment, a mistake. But the truth is quieter and harder to escape. I lost you by delay, by staying the same.
And that's the kind of loss that teaches without shame. If love ever feels fragile again, I won't assume it's strong. I'll listen when it grows tired before hope is gone. Because losing you taught me what clarity can do. It ends things cleanly when love is through. You didn't leave in anger, you didn't storm away. You left with understanding, and that's harder to face. I didn't lose you dramatically, I lost you in the end. When love finally chose peace over pretending.
Didn't realize love could end without ever saying goodbye. You stopped using my name like it carried too much weight. You called me hanging there like distance was already in place. I thought it was just habit, just words changing with time. Didn't know language was adjusting before your heart made up its mind. You started planning your future without asking where I stood. I thought independence was healthy, didn't know it meant you'd outgrown us. You didn't argue anymore, didn't ask me to explain. I thought that meant acceptance, didn't know it meant you'd given up on change. You smiled through disappointment like it wasn't worth the cost. I didn't know loving me quietly was teaching you how to leave without a loss. I thought calm meant commitment. Love that doesn't always say goodbye, sometimes it just rewrites its role. It stops reaching for you, stops needing you. I didn't hear you letting go because nothing ever cried. Love doesn't always say goodbye, sometimes it just says nothing and slides. I replay the way you looked at me that final ordinary day. Not angry, not broken, just already halfway away. I wish you'd scream, blamed, accused, anything loud enough to hear. But silence was your decision, and silence is harder to fear. Now the house feels like an echo of conversations we didn't finish. I thought love survived familiarity, didn't know familiarity could diminish it. I didn't lose you suddenly, I lost you unnoticed. And that's the kind of heartbreak that stays long after the moment. If love ever asks for my attention again, I won't assume it knows my heart. I'll show it in my actions right from the start. Because losing you taught me what quiet endings do. They don't shock you at first, they just slowly live inside you. Love doesn't always say goodbye, it doesn't always explain. Sometimes it just stops choosing you and leaves you standing the same.
used to believe love was unconditional. I didn't know it still needed care. You believed in me longer than I deserved at times. You saw versions of my future while I stayed stuck in mine. You kept choosing patience, I kept choosing delay. I thought love would forgive time, didn't know time was pushing you away. You said I need to feel important, I said you know you are. I didn't know saying it wasn't the same as showing it from the heart. I confused loyalty with comfort, consistency with routine. I thought love meant staying put, didn't know love needs to be seen. You weren't asking for miracles, you weren't asking for proof. You were asking for effort, and I gave you assumptions instead of truth. I thought intention was enough. Love isn't unconditional, it's intentional every day. It listens to what you do, not what you say you'll change. I thought loving you meant feeling, but love needs care to survive. And I learned that lesson too late, when you chose yourself over my life. You stayed until staying hurt, until leaving felt like relief. I didn't know love could get exhausted without betrayal or deceit. You didn't leave me broken, you left me informed about what happens to love when effort is postponed. Now I understand commitment isn't something you declare, it's who you become daily when someone's trusting you with their heart. I didn't lose you dramatically, I lost you by neglect. And that's a harder truth to face than anything I could regret. If love ever feels familiar again, I won't rely on good intent. I'll show up consistently, not when it's convenient, because losing you taught me what unconditional really means. It means choosing effort, even when it's unseen. Love isn't unconditional, it's intentional every day. It grows with consistency, or quietly fades away. I thought love would forgive delay, I thought it would always stay. But love listens to behavior, and mine led you away, led you away, led you away.
Finally understanding what you meant. You tried to explain it gently in words I didn't hear. You said I feel alone with you, I said I'm right here. I didn't know being there physically wasn't what you meant. I didn't know love needed presence, not just proximity and intent. You said I'm tired of waiting, I said we have time. I didn't know waiting was costing you your peace of mind. You loved me honestly, without conditions or games. I loved you comfortably, assuming you'd stay the same. I thought stability was enough, didn't know love needs growth. I thought staying meant commitment, didn't know commitment needs more. I hear you now, I finally understand what you meant back then. Love isn't what you promise, it's what you show again and again. I didn't lose you in anger, I lost you in delay. And now I live with the truth that love doesn't wait forever to be paid. I replay your quiet patience, your unspoken goodbyes. I didn't know resignation could look so kind. You didn't stop loving me, you stopped hurting yourself. And that's a truth I respect now, even though it hurts like hell. I'm not angry anymore, I'm accountable. I see where I went wrong, I see what was avoidable. Losing you taught me something I couldn't learn any other way. Sometimes love's the greatest lesson, is what it costs when you delay. If love ever comes back around, I won't ask it to wait. I'll meet it where it stands before it's too late. Because losing you taught me what understanding really is. It's hearing the warning before it turns into distance. I finally understand what you meant back then. Love isn't what you promise, it's what you show again and again. I didn't lose you dramatically, I lost you by delay. And now I live with a lesson you try to teach me every day. Every day.